Today I want to talk about something that's really important. Not that the other things I talk about aren't important, but this is really important. And that is role playing. We role play a lot in the group coaching and the VIP mastermind for a reason, and that is a safe place to get better. But I've got an email from a person who's done a lot of role plays, and I wanted to share the comments that he made because it's really important and maybe something you're struggling with. And so role playing is practicing, and it is practicing to get better, to work out your mistake. There's a reason in professional sports people practice in everything. Practice may not make perfect, but it makes you a whole lot better. And I think one of the things that's really important to remember is that the real world is much less forgiving than in these environments. You can make a mistake in the role playing. Will I call you out on it? Yes. Will it be uncomfortable? Yes. But it's a whole lot different than doing that same thing with a board prospect, a banker, a law firm, an accounting firm, a prospect, where you make a mistake that if you had known better, it would have gone differently. So I want to talk to you about what he said and then give you some thoughts on that. So what he commented to me was that one of the mentees made a very interesting comment in some of the role plays and felt very uncomfortable. I really read him the riot act as well. And you could see how uncomfortable he was. Again, it's a safe place. The reason I do that is those kind of mistakes need to be corrected. But the mentee who's done a lot of role plays said that, and then basically in effect that he said, is that there's a lot of mentees that get scared doing role plays. And they do that because they know you will tell them the truth. And then he commented, I could see it in their eyes, I can see it in their voice. They overthink because they're worried about what I'm going to say afterwards. And he said something else that matters. He said, he does not overthink the role play. Even if he's terrible, he would rather hear it in practice than hear the silence or comments from a banker, a seller, a professional. And that's the right attitude. You are going to be lousy in the beginning. Everything you've ever done, you've been lousy in the beginning. Think about your first steps walking. You fell down. This is not going to be any different. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to learn, however, if you do a role play, to say, that could have been better. That's how I would have done it. So I would encourage you to remember, nobody feels comfortable in a role play. They realize they're going to make mistakes. They realize they're going to be called out. But that's the entire point of that. And so that's the reason that it's nothing personal, it's just business, makes so much sense in this environment. It is about me finding a way to help you get across the goal line the more expeditiously that you can. And you won't learn that by reading a book. You won't learn that by ending up watching somebody do a role play. You may learn some things, but it's very different in that environment than in the personal environment itself. You'll build it through those conversations. And it's amazing how many people end up starting off lousy, if you want to use that word. They do role plays, and it's, for me, really fun to watch the progression of how they get better and better and better. A lot of that is mindset. A lot of it is convincing yourself you have something worthwhile. The people you're talking to need either the business, in terms of the law firm or accounting firm, board members, oftentimes they're retired, they're looking for something to do, they enjoy business, so you're giving them that opportunity. And when it comes to the acquisition itself, they oftentimes are in a position where they don't know what to do. They would just close the business. So I'd encourage you to, yeah, be uncomfortable. Volunteer for the role play. Pick where you don't know what to do and therefore are avoiding making calls, avoiding the interactions. As someone said to me, and this person who commented about he could see it in the eyes, this stuff's getting real now, Bruce. He's progressed from some poor conversations through a series of role plays where he's improved. He had a good board too. That he didn't really need much help with. But through the law firms, through the accounting firms, through the banks, where he ended up not having much success, we talked about what to do. We talked about role plays. He's done a couple of those. And now he's got banks that are saying yes to, okay, we'll accept the seller or vendor, if you're outside the U.S., equity and loan as your equity, as long as there are some parameters that are met, obviously. But those are important things that have happened because he's improved. And as he said, this is getting real now, where he's to the point that he had his first discussion with the seller. That went very, very well. He wants to, again, do a role play on that. So you will be uncomfortable. Remember that. But you will get better. And those that sit on the sidelines usually don't progress anywhere near like those that do role plays, are engaged, having the calls, having the interactions. Some will go well, some won't go well, but you'll have a lot more that go well if you have done role plays. So I hope if you're in group coaching or the VIP Mastermind that you volunteer to do those. If you're not in group coaching or the VIP Mastermind, there's openings in both those spots. Take a look at that. Critically important is that you understand the steps. I've just updated the boot camp for the 2026 changes I wanted to include. So when you get the boot camp, you will also get the update videos that I did in doing that. I think it was about an hour and 22 minutes of things that I added to it. So you go to brucewhipple.com, you'll see that under the boot camp and courses, and you'll also see the coaching options. But role playing, you're in a safe spot when you're doing it here. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Will I call you out? Yes. If you're looking for something that's going to be cotton candy coated, business acquisition is not it. But when I look at the people that have been successful, that have been in uncomfortable situations, that have learned, it is one of the reasons that I keep doing this. And so I hope you look at it that way. I hope you're committed to this. And I hope you realize that getting better is always a result of, in the beginning, not doing it so well. So hope that helps. Hope you know the steps. Love to see you in the coaching that I do and to work with you about getting you across the goal line as fast as possible.